girls. I think I'm going to adjust this camera a little bit. Today we're going to review the Perdomo Habano Maduro. How's that for a lot of O's? I've smoked this one before. It's just new to my world. It's got a beautiful label on it, which I'll show you guys. And I just thought I would smoke one while I'm about to do a show here. This has a nice, like a chocolate wrapper, as they say. Doesn't mean it's chocolate taste. It means it's chocolate color. Construction on these has always been tremendous. The smoke is very, very nice. The pack is fairly snug. I don't know if this has actually been kept at a perfect humidification. It feels pretty good to me. There's no signs of cracking or anything like that. It's a double cap, and it's a nice cap. It's sort of one of these organic caps. I'm starting to see this a lot more instead of like the absolute perfectly round cap on the end. They're starting just to kind of put them on a little bit more organically, as you might say. I'm hoping that there isn't any snug issues in this, so we're gonna fire this thing up. But it looks fantastic. And again, I've smoked these in the past, and I can't remember exactly the taste or anything. So let's give this baby a try. Here we go. Obviously, right off the bat, you can see tons of foot smoke and smoke coming off this. I can definitely tell you it's a snug pull. It's not horrible or anything, but hopefully that frees up a little bit. If it continues to be snug throughout the first third, I'm going to pull the band off early and see if I can't free it up just a tad. Got a little bit more of this end here I want to put together. And some of you might notice while I'm lighting, I do a technique. Not that I learned it from anywhere, just because I was told how to light a cigar by several of the videos on YouTube, which seems to work out really well, which is to light the outer ring and then the center, right? A lot of guys will hold their lighter still and they move the cigar and they're constantly rolling it. And that definitely looks more romantic. I find that using this like a fire pin, like a writing utensil, and I just continually put the fire where I want it. And then, I mildly rotate the cigar at the same time. I find that to be a lot easier to get the ring of fire around the outer edge of the cigar itself. So, just my technique. So if you see me doing that, you're like, what's he doing? He really lights it really strange. I just use this as a drawing utensil of fire. Caveman, fire. Just say, regardless of where this goes, I love the smoke output. Taste-wise, let's try to figure this out. All right, definitely a heavy tobacco flavor, sort of on the tar side. So it's a Maduro, It's got a nice earthy, sort of oily, heavy tobacco flavor. So if you're into that sort of thing, definitely where it's starting out in the first few quarter inches here. So I know this is a long filler. I know this cigar will last us a long time. I've got a big show to do today. And if for any of you who are, this is going to be one of the shorter cigar reviews, so I'm going to often do my normal show, Deep Thoughts, which is on the channel MK Ultra Radio. If any of you want to see that, it's mkultraradio.com, and then the shows I put together are called Deep Thoughts. The normal show is my buddy and I, Kyle, doing a show, MK, Mark, Kyle. It's a play on a clandestine project by our intelligence agencies in the 50s and 60s. Definitely leather in there. It's just the smell of leather turned into a taste. It's very simple. No pepper that I can taste. Definitely heavy tobacco. And the residual flavor I'm getting is essentially the tarriness of the actual tobacco itself. It's not by any stretch a low grade experience for those of you who are used to Connecticut's and that kind of stuff. It's just when you smoke a deeper flavored cigar, the way it achieves its deeper flavor to you is through that more tarier flavor, that thicker flavor. That's all it is. So it looks good. I'm going to dig into this first third, and I'll be back in just a little bit here. But I've only got 2 or 3 millimeters down. So see you soon. Ooh. All right. Definitely in the second third here. It's mild out a little bit. It has not gone out once. I've had to correct it a little bit. I'm going to pull the band off right now because I think the band excuse me, the smoke is so thick. If you breathe it, it will definitely choke you up a little bit. Let's pull the band off because I think it's adding to the snugness here. We're learning a lesson with the Christoph to the cigar manufacturers. If you make a band this big, you need to make sure that it's almost free flowing on the stick. Otherwise, you're going to strangle the pull on this thing. The band on this is really gorgeous. Someone did a great job with this. It's made on very modern paper, which I think again is creating a little bit of the snugness on there. So the machines that create these bands and or at least apply them on there are doing maybe a little too much of an efficient job and strangling the cigar a little bit. But I've been smoking this thing for quite a while. Let's see how many minutes I got on this. Oh, I'm in this for an hour, and it's still got a ton left here. And I'm just entering the second third at this point, right? So again, in terms of your money, I got this for $7.99. It's definitely worth a good long smoke. So you're going to get your money's worth if you like this sort of heavier smoke, right? But let's give it another taste test here. It's really just a heavier tobacco taste. In terms of other flavors, I think even the leather is sort of peeled off a little bit. I don't get any pepper. I just get a tarier tobacco flavor, which again is just the exact flavor that you're trying to go for when you get a Maduro, kind of a heavier tobacco like Habano Maduro. It's solid, you know. The cap is a little bit loose, you know. I did the V cutter on it, so the cap kind of gave way here on one of the sides. Not a big deal. Again, the only thing you need to worry about when a cigar starts to unravel on you is whether or not you're going to get a perforation in the actual cigar itself, where you're puffing, and it's like when you're drinking out of a straw with a crack in it. You know, you don't get it just is this diminishing return experience where you're not getting the Coke or whatever the hell you're drinking, right? It is making my mouth sore a little bit from the snugness, so hopefully pulling the band off, which I forgot. I didn't know that Christoph was actually choking itself with its band. Squeezing it here, it is definitely pretty tight at the base, pretty squishy at the top, which I like personally. I'm holding it half an inch from the cherry, and it's completely cold, so no big deal there. Because it seems to be a densely packed cigar, which, you know, again, a lot of us might think that that's a really excellent construction for a heavier cigar. It's definitely taking me more pulling power to get this thing to do it. But hopefully, let's just see if it changed here. I think it might have just went out around my mouth too much. The cherry, just a light tunneling, not much. It's not really a tunneling. I think that the outer wrapper is burning a lot slower than the insides here, and I know I lit this thing perfect, so for whatever reason, the outside is not burning as quickly as the inside. There's no wind today whatsoever, so I'm not smoking this on a windy day. Let me go ahead and pull some flame through. I'm having to puff the crap out of this thing to get it going here. The smoke output is massive, right? But this is a heavier cigar in terms of its taste. So what you're going to definitely do is, my breath will probably reek of cigar for, I don't know, a couple hours, unless I brush my teeth, which I will, and wash my mouth out, and I'll probably eat something, and then I'll probably pretty much clean out the taste. But this is for those of you who really like an earthier cigar and you want a really, really long burn. This thing is going to go 2 hours easy. So far the quality is good. It's a fairly inexpensive premium cigar. I see these smoked all the time on the Facebook pages of the various cigar institutions I belong to online. So we'll finish up the second third here and report back. Oh wait, it went out. So I probably have about 3 inches left on this thing. I have squeezed the living crap out of this thing. I have relit this thing. How that's cool. I've relit this thing probably 4 or 5 times now. It does not want to stay lit. The inside of my mouth hurts like the Christoph, right? I have smoked these down without any problem, so I don't know what's wrong with this particular stick. I may or may not relight this and get it done, but I'm going to go ahead and end the interview with the fact that I can feel the capillaries in my mouth like needles of pain because I have sucked so hard in this frickin' thing that my mouth's starting to give way inside. So I'm going to end the review here so you guys know what you're getting into. It's a deep, deep tobacco. I'm not really a big fan of deep tobacco, but that doesn't mean you won't be. I know that a lot of you guys smoke this and you have no problems whatsoever. I'm going to continue kind of squeezing this thing. The pack towards the back here is where it really got super duper tight, and I've been squeezing the crap out of this thing. Towards the cherry, it's much looser. Okay, and it may be because tunneling's freed up a bit of the construction, but towards the back here, I think is where I'm getting a lot of the snugness. I don't feel a block under any circumstance here, so I don't think there's a branch in here or anything stopping it. It's just super duper snug, but it's making it impossible for me to get the cherry to stay lit. So this is the Perdomo Habano Maduro. Proceed at your own risk. This will be the end of this interview, review, and I will see you in the next episode. Over now.